All right, we'll have the Conservation Commission meeting, October 28th. This meeting's being recorded. We'll stand and salute the flag, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First hearing tonight is septic system, Derek Viveris, 82 and 84 O Drive. Are you Mr. Viveris?
No, the engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, sir, go ahead.
You ready for me?
We're ready.
Okay.
We're ready for you.
For the record, my name's Kevin Silva, S&K Engineering. I'm here on behalf of Derek Viveris, Federal Investment LLC. He bought this two-family. There is a border and vegetated wetland along over here on the west side. It crosses my septic system over as far as I can go to keep the 10-foot buffer off of the right property line. And this portion of the septic system falls within the 100-foot buffer zone to the wetlands. And my two tanks, where I have the tank situated, also falls within the buffer zone. There's going to be some minor grading around the septic, and to knock down the trees to put in the septic, as well as grading over the tanks to make it work with the backyard that's there. There's very little room because there's a well up here, and it throws off a radius, so I have an oblong-shaped septic system to try to keep it out of the well radius, which forces a little bit into the buffer zone.
Oh, so that's it?
That's
Okay.
it.
Chris will read his report, and then we can discuss it after, okay? Chris?
Mr. Chairman, members, Derek Viveris, 8284 O Drive. It's a request for determination of applicability filed by Kevin Silva from S&K Engineering. Report date is October 23rd, 2025. I believe this is Board of Health approved.
It is from them. I'm pretty sure it is. I tried calling. I didn't get an answer today.
There you go. Description of the work, the applicant has filed to repair the septic system on the property located at 8284 O Drive. Proposed septic system will be installed within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The wetland line is located on the left side of the home and within the existing wooded area. The wetland line is accurately shown. Some trees will need to be removed to allow the septic leaching field to be installed. This leaching field will be 90 feet at its closest point to the wetland edge. The septic tank and pump chamber will be installed in the rear of the yard, and they will be 62 feet from that BVW. Erosion controls will be installed and will be the limit of all work for the project. Resource areas to be impacted. This is just buffer zone. Recommendations: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the proposed septic system repair at 8284 O Drive with a negative box 3 determination. That is all, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Phil, do you know if this has been approved?
It wasn't on last night's meeting, but I'm not sure.
I would just put pending then, Mr. Chairman, just to cover it.
But not all the cases come before the board if they're,
Understood.
if
Variances aren't required and
right,
it's
exactly. If they're,
cut and dry.
right.
I believe this is director approved, Mr. Chairman, because I did sign a set of plans and return them to the Board of Health today.
All right. Is it, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
No. Any questions from the table? Does anybody in the audience have a question? No. All right. If no questions, then we're looking for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, Jake and Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right, that's unanimous, Leon. Okay, first hearing, next hearing, I'm sorry, Mass
Good night, Kevin.
DOT RDA Route 195 resurfacing and related work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, my name is David Bichette, representing the Mass Department of Transportation, District 5, on this project, which involves maintenance, tree trimming, and cutting work along Route I-195 and the Route 88 ramps, some of which is in the buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland and riverfront areas. This is associated with a project to resurface Route I-195 in parts of Westport and in Dartmouth. The project basically starts here at mile marker 15.8 in Westport, just west of the Route 88 interchange, and runs all the way to the Westport-Dartmouth town line. Now, this project does continue into Dartmouth as well, and Dartmouth Concom is going to be reviewing this through their own hearing for their portion of the work. So the milling and resurfacing work that is going to be done is on Route I-195. That is not going to extend onto the Route 88 ramps, but there is going to be vegetation work along that ramp system as well. And there will also be some crack sealing work to be done within that ramp system. Other associated work with the project involves repairing guardrail and resetting catch basin grates within the existing roadway. There is no road widening or changes to the footprint of the road as part of the project. And so really it's maintenance work, vegetation cutting for road safety maintenance, to maintain site distances on the roads and the exit ramps, to maintain site distances for signage, to keep vegetation away from the guardrails, and to provide space in case there's any other maintenance activities that might need to occur along the stretch of road. So this work is being done all up and down Route I-195, and this particular segment just encompasses this piece of Westport and Dartmouth.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Members, Mr. Chair, this is Mass DOT, Route I-95. Request for determination of applicability filed for the resurfacing project and tree removal. The engineer of record is Mass DOT with plans provided. The report date is October 24th, 2025. Site visit was also on the 24th of October. Description of the work: the Mass Department of Transportation has filed a request for determination of applicability to conduct resurfacing and maintenance within the existing highway of Route I-95. The work will be conducted along the shoulders of the layout, removing and trimming of woody vegetation as needed for the resurfacing of the highway, as well as for safety and sightline requirements. The activity falls under the exemption for working within a public way under 10.02B 2N, vegetation removal for road safety maintenance. So the state is typically always files to get a negative determination in order for them to proceed. So again, this is basic clearing, as Dave mentioned, within that road layout, with no expansions beyond. Resource areas to be impacted is buffer zone and riverfront area. Recommendations: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the proposed tree safety maintenance for I-195 with a negative box 3 determination.
All right, so we have any questions? Not a motion?
Motion to approve with negative box 3 determination.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. So that was Jake and Tom. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Thank you, David. Nice meeting you all.
Next, we have Vanessa Cavallo, ANRAD 38 Sisson Lane, to determine if resource areas depicted on the plan are accurate. Oh, good question. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, Greg.
Okay. Good evening, Director Greg Nichols, South Coast Engineering, representing Vanessa Cavallo, property at 38 Sisson Farm Lane, which is actually owned by her grandfather-in-law, I guess. So what we have here is an ANRAD, delineation run from wetland flag 101, WF 101 through WF 119, the end. We have delineated the wetland line using soil logs. You see over here locations of each boring is taken, shown on the plan. I also did the vegetation analysis that's included in the ANRAD. And you can see contour lines, a very steep slope over here. This area here is all filled, holes are pushed down, I guess, in the middle of the road. And the slope becomes more gradual as you move to the south. Anyway, roughly at the bottom of the slope, you see over here is the wetland line. The soils for the area show this as being Freetown muck, so the line actually pretty much limits what's in the soils logs that you find online. That's pretty much what I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members, Vanessa Cavallo, 38 Sisson Farm Lane. This is a abbreviated notice of resource area delineation filed by South Coast Engineering with Greg Nicholas here this evening. Report date is October 24th, 2025. The file number for this project, no adverse comments, is SE 802817. Site visit and review of the wetland line was on October 24th, 2025. Description of work, the applicant has filed to determine the wetland line located on the property at 38 Sisson Farm Lane. The site has an existing home and the property slopes steeply toward the east. The wetland is located along the base of that slope and extends across the entire lot. The Mass DEP data forms are provided supporting and documenting the soils and the vegetation to support that delineation, which I agree with. The line was walked and determined to be accurately represented. No natural heritage endangered species habitat is located on or near this site as well. So this would be the only resource area currently on the property would be BVW. Recommendations: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the wetland delineation and issue an order of resource area delineation, or ORAD, file number SE 802817, as shown on the plan dated October 7th, 2025, for the property located at 38 Sisson Farm Lane.
Any questions, Greg? Any questions from the audience? You could just step up here, state your name, please, sir.
My name is Don Dufault, and I'm the trustee of the adjacent property there. Just a question, so this was a process here, so you're just delineating the wetlands at this point. So as far as the design of the leaching field and the septic system, that comes at a separate hearing, or?
Right, all this is to say where the wetlands are, then they have to go back and figure out what they can do with it, if anything.
Okay, that's where the wetlands are now.
Right.
There's certain criteria they have to now design to make
Right.
sure that
And
that's
if-
not impeded.
And if they stay out of the 100-foot buffer zone, then they don't have to come back to us. Whether they can do that, I don't know. So really, it comes
As
down
well
to the
as planning
design.
board, Mr. Chairman, they
Yeah.
have to go through for the division of the property if that's their proposal.
Yeah.
So there's several, well, not several, but there are more iterations here that are gonna go on as
Correct.
this project progresses.
And as an abutter, you would be further notified of those other hearings as well.
Board of Health most likely too, for the septic, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, great. And you're only, you're only delineating the wetlands on on their property, right? So you didn't go on, you didn't do anything in the common?
No, we did not, no.
Because it wasn't necessary, right?
Absolutely correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Have a good night, sir. Anybody else have a question? All right, anything from the table? All right, looking for a motion, if someone wants to make a motion?
Well, I'll move to approve the wetland delineation and to issue an order of resource area delineation consistent with the plan dated 10/7/25 for the property.
All right. Phil, do we have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's unanimously on.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, next we have a continuance for Nicholas Laird, notice of intent, 200 Atlantic Avenue, renovations to a single-family dwelling and associated septic upgrade with grading in the buffer zone and land subject to coastal storm flowage. Did we get the green?
These are, they're in the filing itself.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Abby Ismail for Prince Beat Company on behalf of the applicant, the Lairs. So since the last meeting, we have reviewed more of the adjacent grades of the site, and we identified these 4 representative transect lines throughout the site and reviewed those for grades as it relates to the coastal bank definitions that were in question. So I would like to highlight this site profile 1, which is along this lower line, and this is with north oriented this way. So this is Beach Avenue running this way. So this is the profile line where our proposed leach field is closest to the wetland resource area setback. And you can see that here. This hash zone is the combination of the wetland resource areas and buffer zones. So I did that to just identify that that goes up to here. So that's about here on the site. The 100-foot setback from this impoundment wetland identified in the lower lawn. And that it was still the furthest point that we were getting. And you can see the additional coastal bank that was identified further down the lawn. That setback only comes to about here. So our proposed leach field location is still well outside of that. And I can put up the other site profiles, or I also have a smaller copy to hand out. There was another area of coastal bank identified in this analysis, so you can see this grouping of contours here. That was another location, but again, that setback was not getting any closer to the proposed leach field than this one was. So with that, we are outside of the wetland resource areas and the buffer zones, and that's after the additional coastal bank analysis.
All right, thank you. Chris?
Thank you for that. Mr. Chairman, this is a continuance of Nicholas Laird, 200 Atlantic Ave. This is a notice of intent request for a sewage disposal system upgrade or increase in flow of that septic. Principi Engineering would be here tonight. The date of the report is October 24th, 2025. File number for this project is SE 802816. This is Board of Health approved as well. From me returning it to them today. Description of the work: the activity falls under the new construction with an added bedroom capacity and must meet the minimum setbacks under the Wetlands Protection Act. The applicant has revised the plan showing the cross-section of slope for the coastal bank identification using the Mass DEP policy 92-1. No coastal banks are within 100 feet of the leaching area and are closer toward the Beach Ave section. The slope in this area is less than 10-1 with the upper yard, and therefore no coastal bank exists under the definition. Exposed ledge outcrops on this site make locating of the septic system limited to the current design location. They basically have an existing system just to the east of where they are proposing this one, so they know they have suitable coverage. But other than that, there are ledge outcrops within the lawn area. This is totally going to be within the flood zone though, so the work is within a flood zone, a velocity zone, elevation 19, and all the other activities are outside the 100-foot buffer zone to the impounded wetland. And this is Pond Meadow, as we all remember. There's a pond that creates itself along Beach Ave and the lower sections of these lawns during the wet season, and can be quite significant into spring. So that is the only wetland resource area. It's much lower on the property. The actually other bank they define there is actually the septic system of the neighbor's raised bed. So I wouldn't really call that a true coastal bank, but nonetheless, they did correctly identify the change in elevation per that policy. So I thank them for that. So I think they have met all the concerns I had for this project. The resource areas are very clearly identified, and I have no further issues. So I recommend the Westport Conservation should approve the new construction septic design for 200 Atlantic Ave, file number SE 802816 with standing conditions. And I'm gonna say pending Board of Health, but I'm pretty sure they were,
We approved it last night,
there you go.
yesterday afternoon.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
you.
Do you have any questions? No. Anybody else have any questions in the audience? Table, if not, a motion?
Motion approved.
Second, okay.
That was Jake and, who's that, Tom? Jake and Tom, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's unanimous, so, thank you.
Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm the chairman.
I know, I'm just saying, he's not.
I've got some pull in this place. Can't even get a pen. All right,
Oh, you got a nice new truck.
that didn't come from this place.
Did it come with a pen?
From the dealership?
No, they don't give me those. Just, on it, you wanna have,
yeah.
Rick come up?
Yeah, Rick, come on up. Oh, you just grab your chair up.
Just need a microphone. Take my microphone. I'm not gonna question
This is just basically the work location. Mr. Chairman, this is an unanticipated discussion for proposed activities within the overflow boat trailer parking location on Cherry and Webb Lane. The Highway Department had come before me and discussed, after speaking with Harbor Master Rick Smith here, for his consideration to try to get a better handle on the parking within this area. They're noticing a big increase in traffic. It's causing some backlogs. So what they're considering within this existing disturbed area, they're asking to remove this island of vegetation. That is it. At this present time, that will allow them to have a better configuration for trailers and sighting of those trailers. This vegetation would remove. It's mostly junipers, and then they will be stumped and the area will be graded to be compatible with the current area that is a loop fashion. There's one catch basin over towards the southerly end of this island where that turnaround comes through, and the Highway Department was going to reset that basin, and most likely they believe that whatever it drains to may need to be exposed. So they may need to just come across the other side of that access and expose that pipe to allow it to have daylight for any flow. But they're not changing anything else within this, so they're not generating. It'll be gravelled just like it is now. There's actually macadam on some of this parking lot now, which it kind of dies out as you get towards the real far end of the parking lot. This property is owned by DCR, and there was a thought that there was some mutual agreement between the town and DCR to maintain this area. Apparently that doesn't seem to be a document that anyone can find. So this is still pending DCR's final approvals, but they did recommend them come to the commission and get some input. I don't believe a request of determination is needed because of it's within this. Previously, they're not expanding, they're only removing this small little island area. So that's where I'm leaving it to the board. I don't know if you would like to just express a written letter to the harbor master and DCR stating that the work is contained by limit of the parking lot and within the interior and would not cause any adverse effects to the current coastal barrier beach and coastal forest.
All right. Anybody have any comments?
So, it's outside of the commission's purview, but how is this going to be kind of delineated or marked? Because it's if you take this island out,
Right.
is it gonna turn into a free-for-all? Because right now, you see a lot of the boats and the trailers obviously use that as a circle and park around the exterior of that. If you open that up, what's the course of action or plan to address? And you're gonna increase capacity, which I think will impact, if it's not monitored correctly, Horse Neck, Baker's Beach, Bridge Road, Cherry and Webb. So, what's the plan?
The plan is to line it. It can be lined. It doesn't have to be macadam, as you know, but we can line packed gravel. The other thing is adequate signage, so that, you know, one of the biggest issues, believe it or not, are cars with kayaks down there. So we want to make sure that they're put in the right area and the trailers are able to pretty much park across this area, where we'll delineate one spot for single axle trailers, another spot for double axle trailers, and an area for cars that show any type of indication that they have a kayak. And that will eliminate anyone outside of that would be subject to enforcement by the police department. The reason being is we don't want people parking there like they are now to access other beaches, whatever, Baker's Beach, Town Beach. As it is now, we're trying to bring some type of order to chaos down there. These trailers now, these boats are getting bigger. They're double axle trailers, and we really need the room. Now, we have spoken with DCR, and we're in conversation with DCR's attorney, Attorney Galvin, who may ask the town for an MOU, so that we're all on the same page down there.
And if you get that MOU, will it still allow enforcement for you guys to do the enforcement? Because in the past, has always been kind of who enforces what, who does what. Yeah, environmental police don't go in there, town didn't go in there. And fortunately for you guys, when you took this over, you made enforcement a high priority. Is that still make sure that continues?
Well, I think you could word that, I'm sorry, through the chair, in that memorandum of understanding, to word it in accordance with how DCR wants no responsibility for it in some regards, I would say. And the town pretty much utilizes the very rear end of it for storage of some of their trailers and other things that they have associated in the past. Your buoy markers and stuff get stored there. So there is a use the town has had exclusively in those certain areas. And you all know it gets utilized by people in an effort to hide and be discouraging for paying or trying not to get a ticket to go to Baker's Beach.
Horse Neck Beach free because they don't want to pay for parking.
That's it.
Through the chair to you, Jake, historically, we've had a great relationship with Wakefield. I'm going back in time here. With Westport PD going in there and tagging for us. You know, the environmental police are always here to help us out, but Westport has always been the one that has gone in there. So that agreement has been, although not official, has been the practice of what's been going on. So, like Chris says, we would put that in the MOU that enforcement would be on local PD, in addition to its joint jurisdiction. So anyone can tag in there, but the priority would be the local police department, Westport. They've done a great job, by the way, this summer. They helped us out immensely in that. Trying to bring, again, order to chaos.
Is there any discussion of like a parking pass system, like automated one, as opposed to like cash in the box?
That's
they're in the works.
They're in the works. We upgraded the system with the tag system this year. Hopefully by this time next year, we're gonna have a kiosk, and it will work like most of the kiosks you see in the real world out there. For instance, like there's a couple that we're looking at. One is like they used at the MBTA, where it's just an app. The other one would be an actual physical kiosk on site. The app is better because there's no vandalism. Everything is electronic. There's no maintenance or upkeep or risk of flooding. So on the flip side, you have the mechanical electronic kiosk, which can be monitored basically from your phone or laptop in a police car or one of our vehicles or DCR, whoever. So yeah, that's enough. We've actually budgeted for that. Whether it gets there or not, that's another thing.
I mean, through the chair, Rick, that revenue does go towards the town from some of those fees associated with that use.
That's correct. The revenue goes into the waterway fund.
Perfect.
One more question, Chair. All right, okay, I have two more questions.
Well, I'm gonna get one in the middle.
Oh, here you can go. No, I'm just asking.
Why don't you guys clear all the way to the back island too? I mean, if it's, I've seen what it's like in the summer there.
Well, as Chair, as you go into the back end of
Yeah.
that, which would be the south end of that, it narrows and narrows and narrows. So there's really not a lot of room to put trailers in there.
No. You put the kayaks back,
So
the cars.
aesthetically, you can make a swing here.
Yeah.
But that could be, depending on how far this goes, that could be a spot for those kayak,
Right,
People, yeah.
you know.
that's what I was thinking. Well, I'm not an engineer, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that, to me, that's a perfect spot for them.
Right.
And then this is all, you know, for the dual axle and the single axle trailers.
All right, thank you. Jake, another question?
On that kiosk plan that you're talking about with an app, how would enforcement work on that, given that the other option is where you have a printed ticket that stays on the dashboard, so you can actually see and visually see that? You know, with an app situation, how would that work from the enforcement for the town?
The enforcing agency just will have the ability to download those who have paid from up there, from whatever the app, the other end of the app. They can download that information into their laptops or their phones, and then they can just ride through the parking lot and see who's paid, hasn't paid.
Based on their license plate?
I think that cross-reference is a lot more difficult than an actual physical tag.
The physical tag works great.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it everywhere.
Yeah, Plymouth I know has it for all
Yeah.
their parking and stuff, and you just put it on your dash.
So,
Yeah, it works all, they have it in Swansea, they have it down at the physical tag.
Yeah, I think Swansea might have one at their boat ramp,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they have it down in Sandwich, works great.
I would lean towards that, just because what we've seen at Horse Neck, where you're lucky if you're probably getting 15% of the people paying for parking and there's zero enforcement, because, oh yeah, I paid at the key, I paid on the app, don't worry about it. And, you know,
Well, this way they may be purposely going around with, you know, the download the sheet of who's paid that past 2 hours and just
Yeah.
go through the lot.
You know,
I
the key is a partnership with the police department,
Yep.
which we have.
Which you have done tremendously this year.
And then just the last thing is, if you do move forward with that clearing, if we could do like a clear messaging, because, you know, a lot of the people that would see that occurring come to conclusions that may not be conclusions as to what that is.
Oh, for sure.
Meaning,
Especially
we're
after,
landing offshore cables through that parking lot and various other things, so.
well, especially after the DCR work last year on their own property. They don't have the best reputation for.
So I think you guys have a Facebook page, right?
We're on a we're on a website. So
Yeah.
We have both the Harbor Master and Shellfish side of the website, and
Just a posting of that
Yeah.
to alert the neighborhood, because that,
absolutely.
Even if you just
Yeah.
notify Paula in the selectman's office and she can maybe put something on the front page of the town's site.
that'd make it easier
Yeah.
for everyone.
It'd save a lot of phone calls.
Well, yeah.
No, they're on Facebook too, because I've seen Kevin or somebody post on Facebook
Yeah,
before, so.
Kevin, I think, helped
Yeah.
you guys out a lot with some of your computerized
Yeah.
lately,
So,
getting it up to snuff.
all right, any other questions?
That's it, Chairman, thank
Wow,
you.
Jeez.
Just circling back to the question that you asked in the beginning, which is, you know, who are we communicating what are conditions? Is that the right way to characterize them? You know, because they're not really getting wetlands jurisdictional approval from us.
Right.
So I don't know who that should go to, like if we were actually going to end up with a memorandum of understanding.
Well, I would, again, it probably should be through DCR with the town as part of that, because it's still DCR's land. so.
Right.
See,
I don't know, maybe
DCR was
sending
getting
something to the
upset that they have a department that does drainage work.
Right.
So when we said there was a little, maybe a catch basin, we got to unplug, they were like, oh, wait a minute. You know, we're gonna have to check with our engineering department. So
Right.
there was, and then they asked about the agreement. When that didn't come to play, I think they're softening up a little bit. And again, we're not
Yeah.
looking to recreate the wheel here. It's been established for many, many years. And the only other person I was thinking about, Richie Earl, if he can still, I didn't know if he could
He's
tell
actually
you.
the guy that I went and spoke with him about the issue of the MOU back then.
Yeah.
Because that was done under the state sea grant, so that has to be open to everybody when they do the ramp. And that was back in 1990 something. It was in the 90s because Richie, he knew exactly how that worked and how this came to pass. He even knew the amount of money spent back then.
You spoke to the right man, and that's why I was gonna try to get.
So he was very familiar with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, he talked about the agreement, and he told me, he's the one that told me about an agreement. And so I came back to him, I said, Richie, where am I gonna find this? And he said, it's not here. Well, everywhere we went was a dead end, including the DCR.
Right.
So we asked for some of our legislative staff to help us, and they ran into a dead end. And then we got a call, after we placed the call, we got a call from Attorney Galvin, who was the attorney for DCR, who wants to come up with an MOU orders.
Perfect. So Phil, in your question, I think we should just write a general letter to Mass DCR.
Okay,
With the conditions that the work
right.
stays within the existing disturbed area, and that the area is graded and remain gravel, and if any drainage repairs are needed, they still stay within the currently disturbed location.
Yeah. Maybe send a copy to the town administrator or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully that memorandum gets put in the right spot.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Anything else? Do we need a motion for that, or?
I would make a motion, Mr. Chairman, just to make it all official and agree to send a letter to DCR allowing the town through its highway department to initiate removal of that island of vegetation within the DCR boat overload area.
All right, so moved. Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. All set, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thanks for coming, Rick, I appreciate it.
All right, bills and minutes.
Take on this. It's not playoff time. They only lose the playoffs.
We got baseball going?
No, it's Brewers.
Baseball was beating innings last night.
Yeah, the Bruins are taking a beating too. They might ask you to play goalie. They might ask you to play net.
That's it. Thank you. Have a
All
good
right,
night.
thank you too.
Thanks.
East Bay Media, $123.
Second?
All right, there's Jake, Phil. All in favor? Opposed?
Didn't matter what the number was.
Stipend check for the chairman, $100,000. I like this guy. All right, we have minutes. Let's see who's here for the minutes.
Never. Not gonna happen.
Jake, myself, Jason, Kevin, Burton, and Phil.
You?
No. All right. The one night that Tom actually comes, we don't need him.
We didn't need them?
We didn't need him for minutes. All right, last one is WB Mason, office supplies, $51.28. Need a motion to pay. The motion from Jake.
Second.
Second from Phil. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that's unanimous, Al.
Do I
Oh,
need to
yeah.
sign that?
Yeah, yeah, every last time, yeah. All right, anything else, gentlemen? Chris?
No.
All right, motion to adjourn, somebody?
Move to adjourn.
All right, do you have a second?
Good save.
Second from Tom. All in favor? Opposed? That's unanimous, Al.